Good morning. It's 7 o'clock on the nose. It is a Friday and a gorgeous one at that. If you're just tuning in, it is the Real Monica Adams Show. And one of my guests is moving things around. I'm not sure what that noise is. Uh, I'm your host, Monica Adams. It is the real aspect of life, and let's just be real and kind to each other. I can't wait to tell you about this. I knew I was going to wear this morning. It was a gift from one of my dear friends, one of my clients who has become an incredible friend. And this is what she gave me. Happy Mother's Day. Love from your furry children. Yes, they do have cards out there from your animals. And what she wrote inside is so adorable. She wrote from the dogs, speaking on behalf of the dogs. And then if you look closely, this hat has to do with my animals. I'll show you that in just a second. Let's get into our weather, our What the Weather segment, a little news you can use as you head into the weekend. And we've got some opportunities for you to come and meet us. But first, it's time.
Woo! Look at that 5-day stretch of really warm temperatures. Is definitely going to be a great weekend.
All right, and here he is, our aspiring meteorologist, Beckett Moore. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
We were laughing and we were saying we need to get a new promo because we don't want to see that snow, and we're not going to. We're going to see what's behind us on this picture. We're going to see a lot of sunshine, I hope.
Yeah.
It has been an interesting week for sure. You obviously survived the storms. We did as well. I know Sullivan, I felt so bad for them, hit literally 2 days in a row. Hillsborough had those baseball size hail, which was just nuts. If you can imagine that hitting your windshield or hitting the house. So I know that there's going to be a lot of insurance adjusters out there assessing all the damage from the last couple of days, or not yesterday, but the days before that. The good thing is, Beckett, that's out of our way. And I know a lot of the moms and all the kids are hoping for a beautiful Mother's Day weekend. I think you're going to deliver that, aren't you?
Yes, we are. So we did have those storms coming through there on Wednesday with some storm reports there down into Jefferson County and then even places farther south. But weather schedule for today, 57 overcast skies here in the morning, but we're going to be warming up to 70, mostly sunny. We'll be really warming up as we go into the weekend. Tomorrow, 75 degrees, mostly sunny skies. We're going to have a lot of sun tomorrow, low of 55. Then there on Mother's Day, very nice day, 80 degrees, mostly sunny skies there. Very nice Mother's Day. Then the rain chances come in as we go into early next week. Monday and Tuesday, both days we're going to have to watch for some rain. Also, a couple thunderstorms cannot be ruled out. 75 there on Monday, 70 on Tuesday. And then warming back up a bit going into Wednesday, mostly sunny. And then some more cloud cover, maybe some more rain going into next week, later in the week, Thursday into Friday.
Wow, absolutely gorgeous. And again, so let's just concentrate on this stretch of the weekend. Okay, so I have to ask you, for Mother's Day, you're going to do something special for mom?
I think we had a brunch plan, so we might do that. Yeah.
That'll be funny. I think there's a lot of people doing brunches, going to church with their moms. And, one of the things I always tell kids, they are always like, I don't have money to buy something. My mom still hangs on to cards and things that I made her when I was younger. So if you haven't gotten a card for your mom, make her something. Have you thought about that? Have you made her anything special?
Not yet, but I probably should.
Time is ticking away, Beckett.
Yeah.
Well, you can tell her that you at least delivered a beautiful forecast for her. That's one of her gifts.
Exactly.
All right. Well, tell her from all of us, happy Mother's Day. And thank you for raising such a wonderful son. And have an incredible weekend. Thank you for the gorgeous weather that you're delivering. And we'll see you next week.
You too. See you
All
then.
right. Again, that's aspiring meteorologist Beckett Moore. As far as the news you can use, you've probably been following this story about the North County teenager who had been hospitalized. She was in the hospital actually for several months. She is the teenager who was in the fight and her head was slammed to the ground. So many people said, I don't want to see the video. I don't want to hear it. I understand that. A lot of it was blurred because it was tough to see. Well, today is the hearing for the girl that was involved in that fight with her. And the attorneys for the family of the girl who, again, the victim of the girl whose head was slammed into the ground, she, according to family members, is having a lot of short-term memory loss and that it is possible that she is going to take years to recover from those injuries. So our thoughts and prayers going out to that family. Now, the hearing today, the judge doesn't have to decide today whether or not that girl's going to be, whether the trial is going to go towards her being tried as an adult. If that happens, obviously so many people are weighing in saying that's what should happen. Well, it's not up to us, but he doesn't have to make that decision today. It could be several days. It could be a handful of weeks, but they are starting that hearing today. So that's one bit of news for you this morning. There wasn't a whole heck of a lot. Of course, the other day, the Cardinals had their game rained out, and they have postponed that one, by the way, to August against the Mets. But we're wishing for the best for the Cardinals, because if you haven't heard, and I don't know where you've been over the last few days, but Wilson Contreras is out, they're saying, for a couple of months. So can they salvage something with him? I don't know, but they've gone to the second tier and the third tier of the catchers. But the Cardinals, unfortunately, yesterday lost to the Brewers. The final score was 7-1. So it's like, wah, wah, wah. Unfortunately, Cardinals are trying to get a recap. So it's the Cards and the Brewers tonight. Game time, first pitch, 7:10. Should be a beautiful night at the ballpark. All right, that's it for news. As I said, I always want to give you the news you can use, not things that just frustrate you. Good morning to everybody. Terry, Kathleen, hope you have a great weekend as well. Marilyn, Jana, Julie. That is one fabulous friend. I know. Wait till you see what it says on the hat, Marilyn. Kathy, good morning to you. Michelle, good morning to you. Leona, good morning. Love the look-alike cartoon character of Beckett. Beckett, your forecasts are incredible. Thank you for your dedication. I know. I told somebody the other day that a lot of you are saying that you are getting this beautiful forecast from Beckett and nobody else. Linda, Jill said homemade is best. So she was watching. So if Beckett had said what he made, she would have found out. Julie, prayers for all involved. I know, right? Good morning to Matt. Michelle, he finally has a haircut on the 15th. Mama got busy and kept forgetting to schedule. We're talking about his hair. That's cute. Julie says cards. And Sean, good morning. I know my dad used to always call it a Hallmark holiday, and it really has become that. But sometimes those cards really, really speak to you, don't they? It is 7:07 in the morning, and I want to, good morning, Stephanie, and good morning to Carrie as well. I want to talk about moms before we take the break, and I'd love to see you. We've been mentioning this for a while now. It's coming up on Sunday. Come celebrate Mother's Day with me and my mom. We will be in O'Fallon, Missouri, the Farmers and Artisans Market. 10 a.m. to noon is the time frame that we will be there. I'm sure we'll probably be there a little bit longer, but they're going to kick it off at 9 a.m. And I heard they have 50 vendors. So food and drinks and artisans and all these things. You could buy something extra for yourself and for mom that day. Music there as well, and even dogs to adopt from Diamonds in the Rough. I am really excited for this. It's in that parking lot where Panteras Pizza is, right off of Highway 70 and K. Come out and be with us, even if it's just for a handful of minutes, and take a picture. And I'm going to put a really cool collage together in my stories and reels. So before brunch, as Beckett was talking about, or before church, whatever you can do, just if you can come out to St. Charles County in that O'Fallon, Missouri area, I would love to see you. Okay? 7:08. It is Friday, so we're going to talk about Friendship Friday, life mapping, a couple of books. I know a lot of you are really big into these books that we introduce you to, and we're going to talk about getting out of spring and going into summer. How's that housing market? Checking in with Coldwell Banker Realty Gundaker. It's Dot Fleshman, and she is my guest when we return.
She's a special woman and done so much for St. Louis.
Watching her work is one of the most incredible things you can see.
She just sees value in everyone.
Sometimes people just need you to sit with them and hear them. I feel heard.
The time flew by, and it was like sitting and talking to a friend.
Not only creating a better place here in St. Louis, but to inspire others. It's always great to have examples like you.
You have such a light and such a presence, and I could feel it this morning.
We knew right away when you started this, we wanted to be on your show. Thanks for having us.
I look forward to seeing how you rock and roll and shake it up.
I love it. Let's shake it up this morning. Friday, May 10th at 7:09 in the morning. How are you, Dot Fleshman?
Good morning, my friend. I am fantastic.
Good morning. So, before we get into anything, because I know that not only are you a wonderful mother to human beings running around, but you're also a dog mom, which is just the cutest because I've known Dot for a long time. And when she used to come and visit me with my dogs that I used to have, she was always scared. And when she got dogs, and she has dachshunds, by the way, when she got dogs, I was just like, what? You? Now she's so loving the kisses and jumping up on the couch. And it's just, I love the transformation and the evolution of you becoming a dog mommy as well.
That's right. That's right. I even have little shoes with little dachshunds on them.
Oh my gosh, are you serious? Look it, you've gone all in.
That's my Mother's Day gift.
Okay, well, I got to show this. I'm going to show it really, really close to the screen, everybody. So this was made for me by my friend, my client, Janice. So that's my 3 dogs. You can see Opus on there, Tessa's on there, Adelaide's on there, and it says Dog Mom. And she gave me the absolute cutest card, which is for all of us who unfortunately weren't blessed with actual children. So we've got our fur babies, and you're going to love this, Dot. She said, "Dear Mom, thank you for always being there for us. We each wanted to send you a personal message. From Tessa, thank you for the wonderful massages and playing ball with me." And I think she should add sticks. Adelaide, thank you for all the cuddles and snuggles. And you're going to laugh at this. And being patient with me when I wipe my butt on the carpet.
Oh my God. Nice.
And then it says, Opus, thank you for helping me learn to trust people again, because a lot of you know that he was abused. Sorry for the times I have accidents in the house. Oops. From all of us, you are the best. Mom, happy Mother's Day. Love, Tessa, Adelaide, and Opus. Isn't that just the sweetest?
God.
Talking
So
about
cute.
friends. Yes.
So cute.
And those are friends that know, it's kind of rough. Mother's Day is always rough for me. I love the beginning of it. I'm just gushing over my mom. And I can't wait to celebrate with my mom at the market. But then it gets a little rough as I drive home by myself and think, I don't have kids. But then I come home to the unconditional love of the animals. And then all of a sudden you snap out of it, right? It's just that up and down evolution.
Right. It is the evolution. It is a journey. Everyone's got a different journey in life. It's meant to be, right?
Yes, absolutely. Well, today, we've been doing these Friendship Fridays over the last couple of months, and a lot of you really dig in and say, oh, that's how I feel. Oh, I want better friendships. A lot of it is, what do we do with ourselves? So the last time we had Dot on, she was going to talk a little bit. She just kind of teased you with life mapping. We're going to go deeper into that. And we're also going to talk about a couple of books that Dot is big into, Strengths Finder 2.0 and Emotional Intelligence 2.0. We'll get to those in just a second, but let's start talking about the housing market. And we're almost getting out of spring and getting ready to go into summer. Is it about the same as it's been over the last couple of months? Is it better? Is it worse?
It's better. The spring season is our season. So a lot of people, they want to wait over the holidays to list their houses or even start looking. So we are prime time in heavy duty. People are very interested in selling their house and or looking around and buying a house. And like we spoke last time, if you're even thinking about maybe potentially buying a house in the future, you want to start now. You want to get an idea with your lender, like, how much time do I have? What do I need to do? What does my credit look like? So all of that is important right now. But yes, it's hot, heavy right now.
So let's give your information, because a lot of times people are just at the last second, they're looking around. Oh, I'm going to go look at this house. And then Dot's going to say, well, are you pre-approved? Have you done your homework on your own? So if they want to get a free analysis from you, can you give your information of how they get in touch with you?
Yep. My phone number is 314-324-3317. You can reach me at dot period Fleshman, FLESHMAN at cbrealty.com. Or you can go to my website at .fleshman.com. It's simple, .fleshman.com. All my information is there as well.
And Michelle just dropped it in the comments for all of you as well. So if it's you or someone that is starting to want to look, then I would love for you to support my dear friend Dot. She's phenomenal at it. We're going to actually show some of the people who have been very, very happy. Who's this right here?
So this is Matt. He is a colleague of mine, and we actually went to high school together. We both became realtors at the same time. And so we're doing open houses together.
Fantastic. And I mean, again, we talk about friendships, and you have gained so many friends since you have gotten into this profession. And obviously one of the things we also stressed over the last several months is changes in life and being open to those changes. Dot wasn't in real estate growing up, but she didn't, you got into this, what is it, 3 years ago?
3 years ago.
Yeah. And she was in the spa industry. She was a consultant. I mean, so many different things that she did. And then boom, this became your calling. And these are all new friends that you met, aren't they?
And these are all new friends. So these are all agents in my office. They are the best of the best. They're literally, you know what is so great about walking into the office? It just feels good. This is why I like going to work. I love being there. I love being there with them, their energy. They're talented. If you have any question, you pick up the phone, you text, you call, they will answer it for you. And you're never alone in this industry. I'm really blessed. And they are, like I say, they're rock stars. They're beautiful people. And that was it. We were just at a local winery. A bunch of us won contests. And so we went to the winery during the day, had lunch. It was fantastic.
Isn't it nice to be able to wake up and have a smile on your face, knowing that you're going to a place of business where there aren't fake people, they're not being catty, they want to lift you up if you're a little down or you're struggling with something, they want to be able to say, oh, here, Dot, let me help you with that. Oh, she's going to reach behind her for a book.
We're going to be talking exactly about what you're saying about emotional intelligence and literally about what happens when what you're saying doesn't happen. So if you go into, emotional intelligence, we really have to be careful, especially in the workforce. We don't get catty. We don't want to, get frustrated or upset. That's when you take a step aside and you walk away.
Right. Well, but the thing is, there's a lot of people, Dot, and let's talk about this. There are so many people that go through their life and maybe in their minds, they have to, until you break the cycle of this mindset, they feel like this is the way their life has to be, that they have to work in a toxic environment, that they have to be around toxic people. Sometimes it's family members. And I've been asked in the past, well, how do you get around that? Because it's your family. And I don't know what you would say to that, but I usually tell them, well, go to the event. It doesn't mean you have to be by that person. The house is big or the outside or wherever you're going to be. You don't have to be glued next to that person that you're like this with.
Oh, yeah. 100%, Monica. One of the things is we only have control of ourselves and our emotions and not others. And so instead of what people tend to do is they think that they know what the other person's thinking. And I say it all the time. You've never taken the Dionne Warwick psychic reading class. No. Part of it is just you, like you always say, you be you and be in control of your emotions and just know we are on this earth for such a short period of time. We don't have time for some of this other stuff. It's just, we have to be happy. God wants us to be happy and wants us to love one another. And part of that is if we can't, if we're not happy about a situation, we either have a choice to fix it or we just kind of acquiesce, and that's okay. But part of one of the things that, again, in the Strengths Finder, what talks about is when you take this class, it's not even a class. It's like there's a little thing on the back of this book. You take it, you go online, and it tells you what your top strengths are. And we're going to talk about my 5 top strengths, but when you look at your strengths, if you are not doing something that you do every day, your job, what you're doing, my job, what I get to do, and are passionate and love what you do, you are 6 times less likely to be happy in your job. Okay. It is like, you don't have that passion. You're not engaged. You're not interested. You go through the motions. It's something I called quit and stayed. You've quit a long time ago, maybe mentally, but you've stayed and you still work that job and you still collect that paycheck, but you're just not there. And it's okay to just not be able to say, oh, I've been in this industry for this long, or I'm doing this. Find a passion and find what you really love doing. You should love what you do. And even though you went to college for something,
yep,
you don't have to fulfill that if now in life, and we just grow on this journey in life. And what we're going to talk about, and if you're not happy doing that, switch.
You know what?
Have a choice to switch.
Dot and I both are 100% in agreement of that. There's a lot of you probably, though, sitting there right now going, but wait a minute, but what about all the money that either I spent in student loans or my parents spent to put me through college? Or people always feel like, aren't I failing, or am I going to be a disgrace to my family? No, wouldn't they want you to be happy? I mean,
Yes.
why go
Yes.
through and be miserable in something?
Yes, yes, yes. They want you to be happy, and you want to be happy. And again, we have to consider, we are here for a short period of time. Not everyone makes it to 80. We just talked about this. Not everyone makes it to 70 or 60 or whatever. And part of it is being happy on your journey, and you being the one who creates your journey. Don't blame your husband. Don't blame your mom. Don't blame your sister. Don't blame people for where you are on this journey. You have the choice every single day to make the choice of what you want to do. And so part of that is kind of what we want to talk about today. How did you get to where you are? How did we get here? How did I get here today? Well, it's, it didn't just happen. I mean, it's something that you have to think about and work on. And, I contemplated, well, shouldn't I? Do I take that leap? You took a leap. Well, one day you didn't just wake up and say, I'm quitting my job and doing this. You thought about it. You pondered it. You put some thought on paper.
I prayed a lot.
It's a project.
I prayed
and prayed a lot.
Yes. And I do. And again, as I always say, I bring faith into this show and I'll never apologize for that. I'm very faith-based. So is Dot. My guests are, or they're not. It doesn't matter to me. It's just that, hey, let's just show kindness, and whatever somebody else's belief is, I think we all collectively can believe that we're drawn from a higher power that's hopefully guiding us. And I know that we are kind of toy back and forth with these emotions, and that's okay. If you heard what Dot just said, it's very important that you are going through the struggle in your mind. You're weighing things out. You think about it. Yes, I decided to take the leap, but then there was a lot of education behind it. I knew that there's 30 years of blood, sweat, and tears that I'm going to take moving forward, right? And I'm still going to do all the other things that I love. If there was any part of this, because a lot of people come to me, Dot, and say, Monica, you exhaust me by all the things you're doing. And I said, but see, it fills me. I'm very fulfilled by doing all of those. I feel blessed to be able to do multiple things. If I had children, because a lot of people say, well, your life probably would have been different. Yes, I'm sure. There's no way I would have been able to do all this because I would have needed to give that love to my kids. Instead, all of you are my children. That's what I feel like. Real quick, I want to see. Okay, so earlier we showed Dot said that it was her Mother's Day present. She has sandals that have her dachshund on it. And Crystal said, but do you have Crocs for your dog?
No Crocs for me.
Those?
No Crocs for dogs. No. I
Crocs.
see those videos of dogs with the shoes on and they don't know what to do. Like their legs aren't sure. Like what's on my feet?
Some people are saying great gift. Yes, the hat. If you're just tuning in, it's rare that I have a hat on, but I did it on purpose because it has my babies on it, which I thought was just great. Somebody just said sweetest card, sweetest hat. And again, no Crocs. Yes, Janice is amazing. Again, that's a new friend. So I want you to always be open. As Dot just said, those people that you saw in the picture with her, these are all new friendships. And we've got to be open to that's what's waiting for you. The people that are in your life right now, if they're not serving you, then we've got new people that are probably sitting there waiting, saying, I've been wanting to come in and be a part of your heart for a while, but you were just busy with the toxicity, busy with too many things. Mother's Day, Julie says, is hard, but I'm so blessed to still have my mom. Yes, aren't we all? Dot has an incredible mother. I do as well. And then Marilyn, before we take a break, she was weighing in on what we had said, Dot. Yes, a work environment, especially when we take time and are very caring of all of our clients. That is our team. That's what you want. And, I love that word, by the way, team. There's no I in that, right? It's a team effort. That's the big part. Okay. 723. Life mapping. We're going to get into that aspect, and we're going to talk about the books that Dot has been mentioning. So don't go anywhere. We'll have more with Dot Fleshman when we return.
Envita Health and Wellness, where you can feel your best both inside and out. Envita isn't your typical med spa. They're a multi-specialty medical spa and wellness center serving St. Louis and its surrounding areas. They have ketamine for mental health and pain, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and aesthetics treatments. As board-certified anesthesia providers, Envita can ensure that their advanced treatments are provided safely with minimal to no pain. So let Envita take care of you. Call 314-394-0950 to book an appointment or online envitahealthandwellness.com.
Welcome back, 7:24 on Friday, May 10th. And if you are just tuning in, let us know where you're watching from. Facebook, YouTube, if you're on X, if you're on Instagram, if you're on Rumble, those platforms keep growing and growing. And then remember, we also have the audio podcast that drops on Thursdays and yesterday's. If you didn't get a chance to listen to it, Receiving That Message is all about springboarding, forward momentum, and opening up the heart and the soul to a lot of the things that Dot and I are talking about. Dot Fleshman, by the way, we talked a little bit about real estate and the housing market. We'll kind of mix things in for you back and forth. But if you want to get in touch with her, Michelle did drop it in the comments, but it's Fleshman at cbrealty.com. Again, I would love for you to reach out to her if you're looking to make a change in your life with regards to a home, or if you know somebody that is. Dot Fleshman, real estate agent, and the number again, 314-324-3317. By the way, I just got this in the mail with your beautiful face on it.
Thank you. Yes.
If you're a part of Dot's life, you'll get this. Essential Living, savor the flavor in minutes. Is there a bunch of recipes in here for me to use?
There are.
I love it. See, that's what you're missing out on if you're not a part of Dot's life. Okay, Dot, you had sprinkled this in last time we talked, but we didn't get a chance to go in depth into this. So first of all, what is life mapping?
So life mapping is about capturing your journey in life from birth to now. And it's not just about your personal life. It's also about your work life, your business life. So what you could see in these photos is that's a road. So you kind of like put a little line across, the middle, and the top, I had to decorate mine like a road because, I took William Dania's book and got creative. But, you don't even start with this. What you do is you actually start reflecting on a piece of paper. You just take a piece of paper and you just start writing down everything that you remember. Like, what was your first job? Did you babysit? Did you have a lemonade stand? Did you go and, I was going to say have a newspaper stand. Woo, how old is that?
What's that?
Boys would go cut grass, all those things. Like, what did you do when you were young? And you just write down all your jobs, put the dates on there, and write everything down. And eventually, once you have everything in writing, then you're going to take it and you're going to put it on your piece of paper. And this is basically just computer paper taped up, and elongated so that you have plenty of room. And then you start at the top, you start working on, from when I was born. And then, I had siblings and we were little kids. We played, I went to Greece when I was 12 years old. I played soccer. I was in pom-poms. In 1979, I met my boyfriend, all these things in life. And you go all the way across. And then at the very bottom, it's like, what were your first jobs? Well, I babysat. I worked at Dairy Queen. I worked at Noggles. You write down everything. I made $2.75. I made $1.50 an hour at Dairy Queen. So, you've come a long way in life on this journey. But so here's what life mapping is about, Monica. What it does is, sometimes people wonder, how did they get here? And why are they here? And what is this journey? And so when you do this, and mine went all the way across, and I'm not going to lie, mine ended at 2017, but I need to spend time, just like I'm going to tell everyone else, you need to spend time to update it at some point. You get there, you put it aside, and then you want to update it. It's time for me to update mine as well. But
what happened in 2017 that it stopped?
I got busy with Pure Harmony, and then my other career, and part of it was just, it was so new, and I was actually teaching it at Webster University with my dear friend Jerry. And at that point, so much started happening in life. And then, then my dad died and just everything happened. And so I need to add all that on there so that is also on there about the big highlights in your life. And that's just the other thing. You remember only certain parts of your life. A lot of that's just suppressed. Mm-hmm. But when you sit down and you get your piece of paper and you start thinking, gosh, what was going on when I was 9, 10, 11, 12, anything big. So any of those big things you start putting on here. So, everyone knows that, at one point, my ex-husband, 3 months before we were supposed to get married, had a really bad car accident. And so you see this like little loop. So this is my road, but look, I did a little bit this is my detour. I had to do a little bit of a detour um, because I wasn't going to get married in 3 months. He was in a coma. He had traumatic brain injury. It was just a really crazy time in my life. And and I was still going to school. There was just so many things that you look at. But here's the thing that's interesting. Once you do this, once you get your life, your personal life, and then your business life on the bottom, what you do is you take a step back and you find out a little bit about yourself and how you got here. And I've always wanted, when I was a little girl and I played house with my dolls, I always wanted to be a teacher. I was always the bossy one, the teacher.
Really?
Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Ask my siblings. I'm still the bossy one. But so I never went to school to be a teacher, and I don't have that certificate or license, but I have taught for 29 years. I've taught my whole life.
Sure.
I've been a trainer and a coach pretty much my whole life. And but that's what I found through all this. And it was very interesting to take that step back and say, oh, wow, I wasn't a teacher. Because I remember after I did this with my coach, and I said, well, I was never a teacher. She says, but you did. Like
Exactly.
you taught every single one of these places. So that's what's interesting is it helps you to take a step back and see, where are you and how did you get to where you are?
So if someone didn't start from, you've been doing this for a while, but if they've never done this before, you want them to sit down, and what is the beginning to really open up their mind to start doing this?
The first thing you're going to do is you're going to just get some paper and pen. I don't care if you do it on the computer, but you want to start writing down. Stick with one. Don't go back and forth. Stick with one. Like just say, okay, I was born here. I have this many siblings. I have, this is, what I did. Again, up here it talked about, like I went to Greece when I was 12 years old. I played soccer. I played pumps. Those are all the personal.
Right.
And then when you're done with that, get another sheet. And now we're going to talk about your jobs. Mm-hmm. Okay. And once you have both of those sheets, then you're going to get computer paper, tape it up. This backward thing is weird. Okay. tape it up and have your long sheet, put your road right in the middle. And then you literally start putting on there with your pencil, just things that, across the top and across the bottom. You can color it if you want to get creative and do all that. And you add to it. And when at some point you're over here in 1994 and you're like, oh yeah, I remember this over here. And so you come over here and you throw it back in over here.
Dot, one of the things that I'm hearing and I think is fascinating, and I think, and all of you, as you're listening to Dot talk about this, what are you receiving? What is it opening up in your heart and mind to think, oh gosh, I'd love to know the walk that I've come from, right? The path that you've come from. You said about 10 minutes ago that you had a job and you made $1.50 an hour. What I heard right away is that you showed up in life. You were willing to make that. It taught dedication. It taught what we're not seeing, unfortunately, now, which is actually wanting to work and wanting to better yourself. You were willing to go in and make that. I mean, I always tell people, I used to speak to students that were in grade school and high school and college, and I would tell them about the walk that I came from, right? The beginning years of radio where I made $12,500 a year.
Right.
And I would ask and everybody, this is a really good thing for you to listen to. I would ask the grade school kids, what do you think about that? Is that a lot of money? Yeah, they would say. And I would go, no, it's not. Right. And I would ask the same thing of high school students, and they would be like, I don't think it is. I said, you're right. And then, of course, I'd ask college students, and they would go, what? I'm getting ready to graduate, and that's what I'm going to make. I'm like, well, hopefully you're going to be making more, but that was my beginning years of radio. But what did I do? Just the same thing that Dot did. I wanted to further my career, and I was willing to learn everything and work hard for not a lot of money. And then I make $15,000 a year in my second job. And then it just kept going from there. But that was the first 3.5 years of my career that I was willing to work. And I do mean a lot of hours for very, very little money. But here we are. And so the life mapping that Dot's talking about, I would go back and look at all that. You also talk, though, about playing soccer and pom. What did that teach? As parents, you all know that you're not just getting your kids involved in sports or poms or cheerleading or whatever they do just for the love of watching on the sidelines. Oh, that's cool. No, it's what it's teaching. That's why I love organized sports activities, because it's teaching them so much at a very young age.
Yeah, time management. You got to be there on time. Team player. You got to be a team player. You can't be the ball hog. Yeah, there's so much. I wanted to. My first job. I was 14 years old, but I made my mom sign off for me to work because she wanted to buy me no name brand jeans, and I wanted Gloria Vanderbilt back then. So, I mean,
of course you did.
Right. Of course I did. Right. I was in the fashion world at 14. And she said, okay, if you want them, you got to work. And I was like, okay, no problem. So I got this job and it was fun and I loved it. And then you just keep promoting yourself. Then I went to Noggles. I promoted myself at High Point Theater and Noggles. And you do all those things to get to the next level. And then I started working at Famous Bar. And that's what got me stuck in the retail world. I was like, man, this retail thing, I love it. It's, new fashion every season. You got something going on. And, but it teaches you good work ethic. It teaches you time management. You got to be at work on time. You got to be a team player. There's all those things that you do. And part of this teaches you along the way, Monica, is the bottom line is going to be like, how did I get here? But not just how did I get here? Where am I going? Yes. Where am I going? What is the next part of that? What are the next chapters in my life? They say, just read the chapters that you're in. Don't worry about your future chapters. Just read the chapters you're in. But we also talk about, don't go back in those negative chapters. Just because things have happened in our life doesn't mean we stay there and we dwell. I'm going to tell you, this was a very difficult time in my life. And you know how I got through that? God, my family, my friends, they don't have to say anything. They just stand there and they just hold your hand and help you get through difficult times in your life. But
those are the people you need to be seeking out, by the way. If you don't have that type of a person that Dot's talking about, again, you need to kind of reassess things. Rose just said, I fully understand what Dot's talking about. I haven't mapped out my life, but just thinking about my journey, so many of the same denominators of who I am and my passions, what makes me be me, I'm going to map it out. Kids can always read it when I'm gone. Oh, yeah, exactly.
That's exactly right. Your kids, your grandkids, it's just a big scroll. When this is all flat, it's just rolled up in a little scroll, and, it's just tied up and put aside. And yes, they can see that and just say one day, oh, that was my grandma, my great grandma, or whatever, what they did back then. This is when, what are we at, $20 an hour right now? And this is what, $1.50?
Exactly. So, again, where did we come from? This is so funny. I'm going to take a quick break. Rose just said, Dot, quit mentioning Noggles. That place put pounds on me.
I know, right? It was the best. It was the best. It was my favorite job, really. It was.
I don't think I knew that you worked at Famous. I worked at Dillard's. We've had a very similar, and it's interesting how God does this. We've had a similar path. You start to find like-minded people with the same passions, with the same direction and the faith that you have. And then all of a sudden, as you get older and older, you start to look at your friendships. And a lot of people are like, oh, I only have a couple. And I'm like, stop the word only. You have a couple of great friends. That matters. Right. Even if you have one friend and you both lift each other up, you are eternally blessed. Oh my gosh. Now everybody's talking about Noggles, Dot. I just said Noggle Burger.
Oh man, I can tell you all about Noggles. It was so good. I
don't think I ever ate there. I was missing out, I guess.
Oh gosh, yes.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll look at more of your comments. I also want to jump back. I wanted to do this today where we got into some friendship. We talked a little bit about real estate. I want to go back to real estate because I want Dot to talk about items to look for at a home showing before you ever purchase, which is very important. And then we're going to talk about these two books that you might want to be able to put on your list of future books to purchase. More with Dot Fleshman when we return. We need women to lift women up.
Let's do that.
Being on Monica's show, it was like one of the best interviews I've ever had.
Monica's very real, and she really cares about people.
She's changing lives.
Changing lives.
I think this is just really what people want to see.
Giving back so much to the community, and I really appreciate it.
Today, Monica was extraordinarily real, not only with me, but with her viewers and her listeners.
Made the interview process like talking to a friend.
How are you doing? See you. Haven't seen you in a few weeks.
Hey. You're close.
Monica. Whoa.
So go out in this world and be anything you want to be. But before you do that, first, be kind.
It was really the perfect promo to play out of what we were just discussing, right? The beginning of that. I remember I was working out and we took that audio from the day that I was working out and I was just like, we need women to lift women up. And I knew that that message had to get out there. It's so very true. I will lift this woman up and she will lift me up. And that's when you know you've got a true, true friend. For all of you that are just tuning in, Dot Fleshman is my guest, dear friend of mine. And we started this Friendship Fridays, mixing in a little real estate news as well. If you do not have someone that is guiding you and helping you with that purchase or selling, please think of my friend Dot. Again, it's Dot period Fleshman at cbrealty.com. You can also go to her website, which is dotfleshman.com. And then her phone number again is 314-324-3317. Diane said, again, it's a lot about attitude at your job. If you put a smile on as you go to work, you'll have a good day. If you come in with a scowl, you'll have a bad day. And so will those who work for you and with you. It's really infectious of what can happen. Negative people trying to put their negativity spin on you. But you know the saying that negative people make positive people positively sick. And it really happens. I mean, it can actually make you physically sick. Marilyn wanted to know, Dot, does that book have a code where you answer questions to discover your strengths? I was on a dream team and we each did the program. That book is now Discover Your Strengths and Great Ways to Manage People of Your Team. Everyone brings something to the team.
Yes, it is. She is absolutely correct. So it's right in here, if you could see that. And then you put there's a code on the inside. You go online, you fill it out, and then you take that code, you fill it out, and it gives you, all the information about, like, you answer so many questions, but then they help you determine like what your top 5 things are about who you are. And I can tell you mine. I have mine written down here somewhere. Okay, so mine is Activator. So that means I take action. That's both bossy people and people who are very direct kind of do that. Communication is a strong theme of mine. So I paint the picture of what I'm talking about a lot of the times. I want to be very clear. I try and give a lot of detail. I'm an expressive style. Expressive people tend to give a lot of detail and share like the picture of what they're trying to paint when they're explaining. Includer. I'm such an includer. If I go to any event and I don't know someone, I stand there, I scope the room, I look around, like when you go to a Chamber of Commerce meeting or something, and you go to find someone and you go up to them, and it's like my dear friend Jerry taught me a long time ago. If you don't know someone, you go into a room and you go up to someone and you say, "Do you want to be my friend?" And then we laugh about it, and then we introduce ourselves and we start chatting. You can talk to anyone, but I'm such an includer. If someone's sitting there by themselves, like at work, and we're all together, I go get them and I include them into our little circle because I just feel like that's important. And then positivity. I feel like I'm generous with praise. I praise a lot of people for a lot of things, and it's not a fake praise where it's like, "Oh, you look pretty today." Something that someone's done, something I saw on Facebook. I'm around these real estate agents who are amazing, and they're always killing it and doing something great. And I always make it a point to make sure I let them know that they've done, what an awesome job that they're doing. And it's important to remind people, even my boss, I'll send her a message every now and then saying, "That was an awesome meeting," or "way to go," or whatever. But it's important
way to lead, right? Way to be a leader. They want to hear that.
Yeah. The other one, and my last one was Woo, 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 and it's called winning others over. And winning others over is just about me being me and my expressiveness and just being happy in life. And so winning people over just means they see that and they want that. People want to be around people who are positive or happy in life. If someone is grumpy and sad, you're not going to walk up to them and be like, "Hey, how's it going?"
I wouldn't walk up to that person and say, "Do you want to be my friend?" No.
So
can I help you though?
So what StrengthsFinder does is they're going to tell you, and there's like 36 lists of themes, 36, and this was my top 5, and they nailed it. And I was like, "Oh, I can't wait to see what this is." Well, they nailed it. This is me, and I feel like that's who I was within my previous career and who I am in this career.
Absolutely. Yeah, that nailed you for sure. Again, that's Strengths Finder by Tom Rath. So we're going to introduce you to a couple of books. The other one will be Emotional Intelligence 2.0 by Travis Bradberry and Jean Greaves, is it?
Yep.
So that's what is that one about? And by the way, why do you feel that you are so drawn to both of these?
Okay, so when I started working with my coach on talking about my life mapping, the Strengths Finder book is what I took this, like I said, this little test or whatever to kind of determine what my strengths are, what direction. I had quit my job at Four Seasons, and I wanted to be home and be a mom for a little bit. But I also wanted to know, well, what are my strengths? What direction really? I had an open canvas. I can do anything I want. What did I want to do? And so that's what started me with Strengths Finder and this whole life mapping. And within that, it's just, I just kept getting pulled and pulled and pulled. Every time I was like, I'm getting out of the industry, I'm getting pulled in. I'm getting out of the industry, I'm getting pulled in. So I stayed in for 29 years because people kept needing support and help on how to build their businesses. And as a consultant, that was my role. How do I help them build their business? And where it was great, and I loved everything about it, people are great at their skilled job, whether they're a hairdresser or whether they're a massage therapist or a personal trainer or whatever there is. But a lot of people are not great at management of themselves and building a business. They don't. The business sense is scary to a lot of creative people. So it's helping them to understand P&Ls, profit and loss statements. Your expenses, and it's not just about cutting expenses. It's increasing revenue and cutting expenses. I mean, it goes hand in hand. And so many things on how do you build your business, and where's the missing link of what's the missing link in your business, and how can you supersede by growing your business tremendously by just doing a few little things, and then that helps everything grow. And the next thing you know, you got to hire more people, and your business starts growing. All those things are what made me happy, helping people. But then you're also in your office by yourself as a consultant, and you miss out on the whole team part of it. So then I stepped back into the team part of it, and then COVID happened, and that's when I decided I'm done. I'm going to just, get into my real estate, because I wanted to do it 5 years before, and there just wasn't the right time. And COVID said, here you go. It's the right time. And I took the chance, and here I am.
Well, and there's a lot of messages around us on a regular basis. I mean, one of the things that we did postpone, by the way, our Cultivating a Vision that we were going to have last night. We're going to do that in a couple of weeks. So it's still an opportunity for those of you that were wanting to buy a ticket. You can go to TheRealMonicaAdams.com, click on the calendar, the events section, and we're going to give you a little extra time, because everything that Dot and I are talking about, we really sit down and we start to map that out. Just like, where have you come from and where do you want to go? Here's the other thing. Dot and I have talked about this in the past. Yes, Dot's doing real estate and she's loving it, but she also has this burning passion in her, because I asked her, would you ever want to open your own spa? And she said, sure. So could that life mapping all of a sudden change and she's back into the industry again? Yes. I mean, that, to me, we just have to keep an open mind and obviously work hard. And somebody made a comment, and I think it was Marilyn. Yes. Where did the work ethic go with our youth? I don't want to pigeonhole and put everybody in that category, because there are a lot of youth that are working hard and they don't want to be labeled. But then there's others that are just kind of stereotyped, and you're like, you're not entitled, right? Come on.
Look at Beckett. I mean, how old is he?
He's 14. He'll be 15 in October.
I mean,
know.
That's what I'm saying. Look at him and his work ethic and where he comes from. It comes from, you're a product of your environment. So if you see it, you feel it, you become it. You could not be lazy in my mom and dad's house. You just couldn't.
Right. Well, that's the other thing is you want, exactly. And I don't know, I always say this, parents, it starts at home. And then when you send them off to school, it starts, it continues in the education aspect. So something has to change in those two if things are going wrong. You got to look closer inside. Marilyn said, how and why did that get ruined? They're not internally strong like our generation. Again, I don't want to label all of them. Some may not be. We worked for everything. Nothing was handed to us. Nothing like that first paycheck and the thrill of that. The hard life taught us strength and character. Okay, well, you just got to, you don't, the problem is, parents, you can't just let them go along and then become the boss. I see that too often, that the kids are suddenly running the household and you're like, well, hell, that's where you went wrong, right? I want to go back to Rose's. She said, Kristen Halamachek, you need to call Dot when you're ready to sell. Hope you're listening to this on your way to Mizzou. If not, Rose, make sure. Kristen's been a great supporter of our show for a while now. So make sure that she knows to get in touch with Dot. Thanks, Dot, for all the good tips. Terry says, Dot, I too look for the person sitting there alone and including them or talking one-on-one with them. You never want someone to feel like they're left out. Oh, Crystal Gale, did you go and look at that dog yesterday? I hope you did. I gave a compliment to a lady yesterday at the gym. She was so gorgeous, her skin, her hair, everything. I told her she was beautiful, and she literally teared up and said, quote, you don't know how much that means. I've been struggling lately. It was so moving. A compliment goes so far.
Right.
Right. It's that simple, right? You truly never know when someone needs that small compliment that's not so small, right? It's huge. Diane said the world is run by those who show up. Isn't that true? We all do need to show up more. I mentioned I was going to go back into real estate for a second. So since you just mentioned that Kristen needs to get in touch with Dot and others, if you are that person in the market right now, what are the items we need to look for at a home showing before purchasing?
Right. So, when you go to look at the house and it looks beautiful and you're like, oh, this looks beautiful, tall ceilings, all these windows, etc. But here are some things that we, as an agent, I work with my clients. I'm going to show, 5 houses today after I leave here. And, things that we're going to talk about is let's look at structurally, what does a house look like? So you want to look at your basement, you want to look at your walls in your basement, and structurally, are they sound? It's okay. Everyone freaks out at cracks. It's okay to have cracks coming down your foundation. Cracks, vertically are fine. Horizontally, not so good. So that you take a picture of that, and that's you think, oh, guys, that's going to cost a little bit to get fixed. But you also want to look at things like your systems. How old are the systems in your house? Your furnace, your HVAC. Are they going to need to be replaced very soon? Roofs are become a big thing, Monica. This is the craziest thing. You know how you can get a roof and they say, oh, it's 30 years, it'll last you 30 years, blah, blah, blah. What's interesting is if you go to move, insurance agencies, we should get our friend involved here, but insurance agencies are not covering you if your roof is like older than 10 to 12 years old. So if you have a 13-year-old roof, they may not cover you or may charge you an arm and a leg.
Really?
So it's just very interesting. So you want to look at the age of the roof. You want to look at the structure. You want to look at the systems. And then you want to look at also how far is this gorgeous, beautiful home that's your dream home from your job? Are you going to be driving an hour to and from? Or if you're okay with that, that's fantastic. There are a lot of people who are. They work in the city. They live way out in the county and they love being that far out. That's fantastic. But for people like me who, we're driving around all the time, I don't want to be too far from where, my family is.
Right.
And then you also want to look at what are the upgrades in the house. Are the kitchens and bathrooms updated? Is there a new deck? Does a deck need to be replaced? Mm-hmm. All these things are the things that we're going to look at. And it's not just, when people get ready to sell their house, they make their house look beautiful because that's what they're supposed to do. You want to clean up and make it look good. You want it to be sellable. But at the same time, when I'm with my buyers, those are the things that you'll want to be looking for outside of how pretty the house is.
Yeah, because last month we talked about what you're preparing when you're buying your new home. Now we're talking about what you're looking for. You talked about HVAC systems. I mean, you have to think about this because when I sold my home in Afton, I told the girl, Mike, well, you're getting one heck of a home because I had just put a new liner in the pool. We just put a new roof on. They had an entirely new HVAC system. We had changed all the appliances in the kitchen. I'm like, dang. And then you go and you're going, okay, now I got to do that all over again, possibly in the next home. So you have to weigh those things out. She talked about kitchens and bathrooms. You also talk about storage space, basements versus slab homes.
Yep. So sometimes you'll go look at a house and it's a slab, and a lot of people don't know what that is, but it's just your house is on a foundation, so there's no basement. Okay. And I'm not going to say anything bad about slabs. I mean, I guess they have their purpose for whatever, but at the same time, you lose that storage space. Like a lot of people store stuff down in their basement. So if you're going to have a slab home, you want to make sure that the house has enough space within it, whether it's a third floor or an extension of it or something out back or a deeper garage, something to store your stuff.
Okay. Again, if you or someone you know is in the market right now, buying, selling, I want you to reach out to my friend Dot Fleshman. Go to her website, dotfleshman.com. The email again is dot.fleshman at cbrealty.com. So make sure Kristen gets a hold of Dot and anybody else. 314-324-3317. Let's use our last 10 minutes to get into what we kind of teased in the beginning, which is emotional intelligence. What is that all about?
Right.
Well,
Right.
we'll talk with that when we return.
Envita Health and Wellness, where you can feel your best both inside and out. Envita isn't your typical med spa. They're a multi-specialty medical spa and wellness center serving St. Louis and its surrounding areas. They have ketamine for mental health and pain, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and aesthetics treatments. As board-certified anesthesia providers, Envita can ensure that their advanced treatments are provided safely with minimal to no pain. So let Envita take care of you. Call 314-394-0950 to book an appointment or online envitahealthandwellness.com.
Welcome back, 7:55. And again, we've been visiting with Dot Fleshman with Coldwell Banker Realty. And we are talking a little real estate. We're mixing in friendship and we're talking about emotional intelligence. All right, what's this all about?
Okay. So a lot of times we talk about IQ, everyone talks about their IQ, their brain and everything. So EQ is emotional intelligence. And part of that is it is about the personal, but it's also about really, when you're out in the workforce and you're dealing with people, you have to be able to understand your emotions and how to curtail your emotions and notice other people's emotions, right? Someone standing there like this, whatever, close, right? We're talking about close, and so part of it is so you're at work and someone says something that that you didn't like, whatever, and then you start crying. Okay, well, that's not appropriate at work. It's just not. And we have to be able to curtail those emotions. And now if someone fell and something bad happened and you cried, that's a whole different story. But the whole thing is and here's a cute saying: facts don't care about your feelings. Okay. So the facts are what we focus on a lot of the times. That's coming from an analytical. I'm not an analytical. However, when we're dealing with the facts and someone gets upset about something, it's like there's nothing to be upset about. These are the facts. Okay. 2 + 2 is 4. We're not going to cry about it. We're not going to get upset about it. That's the facts. 2 and 2 is 4. So when we're dealing in business and in life about certain things, and that's just, those are the facts, we don't need to worry about getting our feelings involved. And sometimes we just get our feelings too much involved in things that are just not necessary. And, not just in family, but like at work, when we start, talking about either drama or, something like that. Part of what happens with the emotions, emotional intelligence, is it tells you a couple of things. There's the social awareness, okay, and then there is the self-awareness. So self-awareness strategies has 15 strategies, okay, and I know it's hard. I wish I would have made a copy of this, but anyway, so self-awareness strategies. Quit treating your feelings like they're good or bad. They're just your feelings. They're in general. We deserve to have these feelings. And no one should tell us, well, you can't feel that way. Well, that doesn't, how many times does that happen?
Right.
Well, don't feel that way. No one should tell someone how to feel. We should control that ourselves, and they're not good or bad. Observing the ripple of your emotion, the ripple effect of your emotions. Lean into your discomfort. It's okay to just be sad on days. No one has happy-go-lucky 24 hours a day. You're a happy person. I'm a happy person. But there are times where we just got to be down in our thought process. We're thinking, maybe we're overthinking our stuff, but where we are, we want to be careful with that. Feeling your emotions physically. Sometimes physically we can ache and have pains over our thoughts.
Yes.
And we overthink our thoughts. Remember, I was telling you earlier, I always joke about you didn't take the Dionne Warwick psychic reading class. Yep. You don't really know what others think. So what happens is we anticipate what someone is thinking, and it probably
We
never
think we know what they're thinking. And we jump in. Well, that goes to the art of listening, right? Which is an entirely a full hour show plus, or a life coaching night where we teach how to be a better listener and not waiting for the person to stop talking or talk over them because you want to say something really quick. That means you probably didn't even listen to them at all, which is a bad thing. But so this emotional intelligence, by the way, 2.0, Travis Bradberry and Gene Greaves, a guidebook for enhancing emotional intelligence. Again, the ability to recognize, understand, and manage emotions in oneself and others. You had some outlined strategies and techniques for that.
I did. Self-awareness was one of them. Self-regulation, social awareness, relationship management. These are all things that we work on. And going back to, so we talked a second about self-awareness strategies. Yep. It's about me. Okay. Yep. And then social awareness strategies, social. So again, we're talking about emotional intelligence. We're out in the world, you're at work, I am at my junior league event, you're somewhere, you want to introduce yourself. You never just want to, you want to introduce yourself to people that you're there and emotionally be part of what's happening at that moment, and I think a lot of this has to do with, how strong you are, right? Not physically strong, but emotionally strong to be able to curtail. Like if you said to me, Dot, I don't like your oatmeal colored dress. And, instead of me crying and being like, well, I don't like your purple, whatever. It's okay to say, well, thank you very much.
Right.
I mean,
That's
it's okay.
and that's, by the way, how you shut down negativity, because they're in this space, they're trying to tear you down. And if you just don't take it, you don't receive it in. I know as human beings, people are like, it's not that easy. It is. If you work on it, it becomes easier. It becomes habitual. That if I were to and I wouldn't, by the way, because you look beautiful and everything, but if I were to say something that hurt somebody's feelings, I wish they would come back and say, you know what, that kind of stung. And I would say, oh, I am so sorry. But look, I was just saying, I like this color. It brings out more pigmentation in your face, and white kind of possibly draw you out. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, you're trying to help me. We should always be trying to help, right? It's not tear somebody down to try to make yourself look better, because you don't look better. In fact, you look like a fool. Right?
100%, 1,000%. Absolutely. The biggest thing is qualifying something, Monica, right? Oh, I don't like your dress. Okay. What about it do you not like? Qualify it. It's okay if someone says something about, what you're doing at work or something like that. Instead of getting upset, again, let's be careful here, the emotional part. Instead of getting upset, it's just their words, right? Their words. So what we want to do is we just want to qualify it and say, oh my goodness, okay, so this is how I did it. How would you like me to change it? Or what were your thoughts on how to make that look different? Or, let's use our words and figure out what that is. That brings you to this next level. Not being upset and getting mad about something, or someone called you out, something like, if someone calls you out in a meeting or something like that, instead of getting mad and then go and tell 3 other people that you were pissed and not saying something to that person.
Exactly.
Our emotional intelligence really works on exactly what we're talking about. It's being strong and confident, and you just go up to the person. You're not even mad. Instead, we need to stop being mad. Our world is too mad. It's okay. And one of the things we talk about is, listen, we live in this society where we get an opportunity to be free. We live in this country. We get this freedom, and you have every right to say, believe what you say, and I have every right to believe what I say. And so I'm not going to cut you off and say you can't speak that way, and you can't tell me I can't speak this way. So part of that all goes hand in hand. And with this, when you read this book, what it does is it helps you to understand all the things that we shouldn't do, and how do we rise up above those emotions. Again, it's okay to cry, but it's just not okay to cry over little things at work,
And it's not okay to stay in that, right? You got to get out of that. right? You don't want to stay there. And I think the biggest thing, I hope the message that you hear is you just really got to find your voice more and be okay with it. And the more you do it, because there's a lot of people watching Dot that probably think, oh, it's hard for me. I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. Again, the people pleaser mentality. Once you get out of that and you start speaking, they will probably respect you more because they didn't know your voice. You didn't put it out there. You didn't tell them that you were hurt by something. The more you do that, the more they come back and go, oh my gosh, I had no idea. I did not want to do that to you at all.
Take
right?
a stand. Take a
Yes.
stand, right? Don't be a fence sitter. Take a stand, pick a side, and be okay with it. And,
Right.
you know, and and Monica, you are my sweet, sweet dear friend. I'll do anything for you. But if you say to me, well, you know, I don't like A, B, and C, but if I'm comfortable with A, B, and C, whatever that is, I'm going to be okay with that. And I always just say, thank you for your feedback. And someone said to me one time are you going to listen to that? I'm like, oh no, I just said thank you for your feedback. You offered me feedback and I said thank you for it. I don't have to listen to it. I don't have to, move forward with it. But everyone has, again, you have the right to share something with me. I just at that point have a choice, right? My consequences come with what decision I'm going to make. So, yeah, it's just it's such an interesting book, and the reason I have these together is because I got them at the same time. And Strength Finder is helping you with understanding what your strengths are. I think everyone should take this book and take this little test or whatever to understand what their strengths are. Then take your strengths, your top 5 strengths, and say, what I'm doing here in my career, am I able to utilize these strengths? And if not, how do I take my strengths and put them into the career that I have right now to make me even better? And then the emotional intelligence goes kind of hand in hand with that. How am I behaving when I'm at work? How am I behaving when I'm in a social event? How am I, am I the one who, like you said earlier, am I cutting someone off, or am I, controlling the conversation? Some people control the conversations. Those of us are the drivers and the and the expressives, or whatever. But part of it is so it all goes hand in hand.
Once again, what we want you to listen to here is bettering yourself. That's the overall message of all of this. Crystal said, I love this, good stuff, Dot. Chrissy says we use strength finders at work. Great insight. Yes, we just want this to move you forward and to help you out. All right, we're going to wrap up. And I do want to thank one of our viewers. And I don't know why I haven't been reading from this at home, because a lot of people missed. I used to read from Jeff Kozatek's book, and we wrapped that one up. And then at the studio, obviously on Mondays and Tuesdays, I'm reading from 100 Days to Freedom, because a lot of people were asking what those books were. But Marilyn gave me the Jesus Calling book, and I didn't realize that it was dated and that there's something for each day. And I could have been reading over the last several months from this. Terry just said, I recognize my faults and will continue to be a better listener. Yes, focusing and listening is a big thing. So it's May 10th, and I'm going to read from this, Jesus Calling. Are you familiar with this one, Dot?
I am not. It's interesting.
Okay. So let me bring it here. Jesus Calling, and this is enjoying peace in his presence. This is by Sarah Young, Devotions for Every Day of the Year. So a lot of people are familiar with Sarah Young and the Jesus Calling book, but these are devotions. And Marilyn, I'm so sorry that it took me this long, but it doesn't matter. It's when it happens. It's supposed to happen. So this is May 10th. So let's all listen to this one. Jesus Calling. Do not resist or run from the difficulties in your life. These problems are not random mistakes. They are hand-tailored blessings designed for your benefit and your growth. Embrace all the circumstances that I allow in your life, trusting me, this is God calling to you, to bring good out of them. View problems as opportunities to rely more fully on me. When you start to feel stressed, let those feelings alert you to your need for me. Thus, your needs become doorways to deep dependence on me and increasing intimacy between us. Although self-sufficiency is acclaimed in the world, reliance on me produces abundant living in my kingdom. Thank me for the difficulties in your life, since they provide protection from the idol aspect of self-reliance. And this is, by the way, John 15, verse 5, and then 2 Corinthians 8 through 9, as well as Ephesians 5, verse 20. So these are daily devotions that we can do for you. Thanks to Marilyn. Again, great friends. that just came about in the last year because of this wonderful platform that we have. Leona said, Jesus listening is so good too. Thank you, Marilyn, for my Jesus book. I love it. Yes, she's just spreading the love of faith everywhere. Those are good people. I love the Jesus Calling book. It's on my table in my living room. Luann says, I love Jesus Calling book. See, a lot of people know about those. So we've got 3 books that you can put on your to buy list. Marilyn just said, thank you, Monica. I give those out a lot. I buy 10 at a time. Amazing daily reads. No worries. Love that book. Sorry, Sarah has passed away, but she leaves a great legacy. Yes, I had heard that. I know. Rose said, great show. And I agree with that 100%. Before I let you go, Dot, happy Mother's Day to you, to your children who I absolutely love. And it's a true testament to you as a mother, Ron, as well as Eddie, to EJ, to Athena, to all of your grandkids. You truly have a blessed life. And please pass along to your mother that I said happy Mother's Day as well.
I absolutely will. And the same to you with Jackie.
Thank you. And to all of you, I'm going to wrap up and tell you how you can join us on Mother's Day and a couple other things that we have coming up with Mobile Monica shows. And we could actually have a Mobile Monica at your business. I've got a big announcement I'm going to make for you as well when we return. Thanks, Dot.
Thank you. Bye.
Envita Health and Wellness, where you can feel your best both inside and out. Envita isn't your typical med spa. They're a multi-specialty medical spa and wellness center serving St. Louis and its surrounding areas. They have ketamine for mental health and pain, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and aesthetics treatments. As board-certified anesthesia providers, Envita can ensure that their advanced treatments are provided safely with minimal to no pain. So let Envita take care of you. Call 314-394-0950 to book an appointment or online envitahealthandwellness.com.
Welcome back. It is 8:10, and as promised, I want to let you know where you can come out and see me and my sweet mama. That'll be on Sunday, 10 a.m. to noon at the Farmers and Artisans Market. I really would love to see you if you can come by. Again, even if it's just for a few minutes. I've had a handful of you say that you are definitely coming. I would love to meet your mother or you. If your moms are not around, my thoughts and prayers going out to you, because I just can't imagine not having our mama around, right? Moms and dads. I lost my dad, obviously, when I was in my early 20s. And that was a hard one for sure. But treasure every moment that you have with your mom. And again, it's not all about buying something. It's time spent. That's what's so very important. Okay, we filmed this last night. So I've got some breaking news for you. Watch this. Oh, hang on. Let me get the volume up before we do this. So we were out at Stone Soup Cottage last night. I have some breaking news. You know, for the last year, our studios have been named after Envita Health and Wellness. Now, Dr. Sarah Franco is still with us, but we thought it would be really cool to give another business an opportunity to be our title sponsor, to have the studios named after you, for your name to be on our door, and for our businesses to be synonymous in the mission of positivity. Email me immediately at info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com for the next year. Let's team up together. What do you think about that? Info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. And you can see how crazy windy it was last night, by the way. So hopefully you heard that. So Dr. Sarah Franco is still with us. We're still doing our Medical Mondays, of course, with not only her, but also Dr. Sean Neary. Medical Mondays are at 7 a.m. And we talk about a lot of things that have to do with your health. Well, she and, of course, Dr. Sean still with us, but we thought, yeah, she's been with us for a year. And we've been talking about the Envita Health and Wellness Studios. We've been talking about her being the title sponsor, and we want to share the love. So I want you to start thinking about a business that would like to be synonymous with this mission of positivity. Who is that? Do you know of an incredible business? Because this has not been on the table, by the way, for the last year. That's something that Sarah wanted. She came straight out of the gate and said, I'm going to go big or go home. Well, now here we are going into a brand new year. We took over our studios in June. So starting in June, I'm looking for a new title sponsor. Do you have any ideas? Remember that we reward you if you turn a business onto us, whether they're the title sponsor or they come on with us monthly or they book us for a Mobile Monica show, which which has really taken off. I love the business model. Dot was talking about leaping and continuing every single day to work hard. The work ethic in me was thanks to my parents, and then I really honed it from there. But every single day it is, what can we provide you more? What do you want to see more of? I ask that to all of you. Do you want to have more custom shows? Do you want to have different topics, guests? All those things I want to provide. This is your show. I want you to feel that way. I really, really mean that. That everything that I'm doing on this show is feedback that we get from you. So if you have a business that books us for a mobile Monica, or as I said, title sponsorship, or even a part of the sponsorship at any level, we want to reward you with $100 in Monica merchandise. And I've had Kathleen Morris. Thanks to Kathleen, we had our Just Be Kind Cafe 300th celebration, and she got a jacket. Well, that's actually customized for her, getting ready to come in the Monica blue. We want to thank Trudy Sanders because she turned us on to Orange Theory in Fenton. And by the way, have you gone there to work out? Do us a favor and support those businesses that have been on with us. Trudy got our Know Your Value shirt, as well as a Know Your Value journal. It's whatever part of this that you would like, that's what we can do for you. So yes, I am repping the merchandise today. Know your value. It's my mantra. It's part of the triangle of life theory. It's all those things put together just to make you the version that I want of yourself. And so speaking of the mobile Monicas, next week, Thursday, after we come off of celebrating mothers, we're going to be at Just Pools. I am so excited for this. By the way, we're trying to get our pool that crystal clear. It's still a little green, so I need their help. If you are wanting a pool, by the way, they are going to have a huge Memorial Day sale. And I think they're giving like $5,000 in upgrades for in-ground pools. They are giving away a 30-foot round above ground pool, and it's got multiple things with it. I think it's worth like $7,000. All you have to do is buy a $20 raffle ticket, and 100% of the proceeds go to Tunnel for Towers, and then an organization that builds bunk beds for children who don't even have a bed. And all you have to do is spend $20. Go into Just Pools on the West Outer Road in Arnold. Tell them that you want to buy a raffle ticket for your opportunity to win a pool for yourself, and 100% of proceeds to a charity, 2 charities. I mean, come on, that's a win-win. I'd love for you also to just tell them thanks, because not only did they book a mobile Monica, but they are now a part of our show for the rest of the year. So thanks to Madonna, she knows our value and she knows our mission. Let's see. Anybody's happy Mother's Day to all the moms, Stephanie says. My mom passed 2 years ago. I am so sorry, Stephanie. I hold on to my memories, my ladies' league at church to fill in for my mom and my neighbor. Oh, have a good weekend to you as well. Happy, beautiful Mother's Day, Marilyn says, to all of the moms, fur moms, and as well. Don't forget about those. And I want to thank one more time, Janice. This hat rocks. It's my new favorite hat. So Just Pools. And then at the end of the month, we are going to be here at Firefly Grill, but I'm going to actually introduce you to the owner on Tuesday. So Christy Prosser's coming in, and we're going to sit down and talk. She used to be my manager. So when Dot was talking about life mapping, I look back when I was a waitress and a bartender at Copperoo's. I was telling Jessica Yuppie Puppies yesterday, and she's like, Copperoo's, oh my gosh, I had my rehearsal dinner there. I'm like, how cool. I have so many great memories of people coming to watch Blues games and Cardinals games. And that was at the old Copperoo's in Florissant. She used to be the manager there. She also opened a place in O'Fallon, Missouri, and then she got divorced. She found love again in life. So we always talk about this evolution of happiness that can come your way. And she opened her dream. Talk about leaping. Christy Prosser will talk a little more in depth of what Dot and I have been mentioning today. Firefly Grill, a beautiful place in Chesterfield. And our show will be May 30th live. But on Tuesday, I'm going to introduce you to her, and we'll talk about a lot of things. And then I want to thank Julie Ingold, who owns Sunset Overlook. This is going to be a big one. A lot of you have already said that you're definitely coming to this, which I love. I'd like to see that same kind of turnout every time we have one of these, as much as we possibly can. So Sunset Overlook is in Columbia, Illinois. Beautiful. And this one is going to be in the evening, 7 p.m. to 8:30 on June 13th. Why the evening? Because we want to watch the sunset together. So there's 3 mobile Monicas coming up for you in the next month and a half. I would love to see you. 8:17. I'm going to wrap the show up, and I'm just going to say it as I always do. And I want you to go a level up this weekend. Give big hugs and kisses to your mom. Share incredible memories, long-lasting memories that she will never forget. Thank you to all of you that are moms, and please spread the love and the kindness to each and every person that you meet, not only today, but throughout the entire weekend. And then we'll be back with you on Monday for our Medical Monday segment. God bless you all. Happy Mother's Day. Have a beautiful weekend.